Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. And today in this video I want to talk about two devices that Motorola just released. So, I don't know if everyone is aware, but at the same time as the Samsung 2021 Unpacked event was going on, Motorola silently released, or quietly released their new 2021 G series lineup. So we got four devices from Motorola that were announced and released and ready for the public to purchase on the same day as the Samsung Unpacked 2021 event. So their four devices new to the G lineup are the Motorola One 5G Ace, the Motorola G Power 2021, the Motorola G Stylus 2021, and the Motorola G Play 2021. Now, two of those devices I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend the G Play 2021 or the G Stylus 2021. But we're going to talk about the two devices that I would recommend in this video here today. And we're going to do a little bit of a comparison so you guys and gals could see the differences. That being said, as always, if you guys and gals enjoy this video and or you find it helpful in any shape, form, or fashion, please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. And as always, if this video piques your interest, all the links to where y'all can pick these devices up at some really great prices, which are affiliate links, by the way, will be available down below in the video description, along with any and all of the extended coverage that I can find on these devices. So down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. And if you would like to see more content like this, please remember, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below as well. And make sure you click off that notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. Alright, so let's jump straight into this video now. So talking about the pricing first, before we get into any of the other aspects. In terms of the pricing, the Motorola One 5G Ace comes in two different variants. It comes in a 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage variant. That's going to cost you $399.99 or $400 just to make it easy. But it also comes in a 4 gig of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage variant. And that one is $50 less. So that will cost you $350 or $349.99. Now, as of the recording of this video, the only variant that Motorola has on sale is the $399.99. So the $400 variant. Okay? And the G Power. That's the other device we're going to be talking about, the G Power 2021. That one also comes in with two different RAM storage variants. Now, the top of the line variant, the 4 gig of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage variant, that's going to cost you $250 or $249.99. Whereas the lower end variant with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage, that's going to cost you $199.99 or $200. Alright? Now, in my opinions, you should really only go for the high-end variants of these devices. So for the Motorola One 5G Ace, we're looking at the 4 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of onboard storage. Or for the Moto G Power 2021, we're looking at the 4 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of onboard storage. Alright? Now, some key features that are common across the whole Moto G lineup is the fact that they all come with micro SD card expansion. So you can install a micro SD card on here if you need additional storage or you want to future-proof your storage, and you should be good to go. Alright? Alongside that, they do all have USB Type-C this year, and they do support 15-watt fast charging. So you should be good to go there as well. And they all have always active, always capacitive fingerprint sensors on board. Now, where they differ is with the fingerprint sensor location and the camera layout for the rear cameras. All right? But we're going to get into that as this video goes on. So let's take a look at the differences in design between these two devices right here. Now let's start off with the Moto One 5G Ace first. Now, when we talk about the Moto One 5G Ace, you can see in terms of design, this is where Motorola tried to go with its most modern design yet. So they switched up the front-facing camera placement from the side punch hole to the center punch hole. And they completely redesigned the back module for the cameras. So we have 3 cameras on the rear. We're going to talk about the camera specifications a little bit later on in the video. But they completely redesigned the camera module layout. So now it looks like a quad camera layout, even though it's only 3 cameras. Now, they still kept some things that customers love. So they do have the center-mounted, always active capacitive fingerprint sensor inside of the Motorola logo. And then we do have a large variety of colors. They also do have a very big, I believe it's 6.6 inch full HD display. All right, we're going to verify that a little bit later on. They also kept the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So really happy to see that. We got that headphone jack on here as well. All right, you can take a look at the camera layout and from different angles here. Good stuff. And as I said, we still have micro SD card expansion as well. So you got USB Type-C, you have the 5,000 milliamp hour battery, you have micro SD card expansion, you have a physical always active fingerprint sensor with a completely new redesign. Really good stuff there. All for $399.99 or $400. And what's cool about the Motorola 5G Ace is it's Motorola's cheapest 5G device, running the newer Snapdragon 750 CPU, and with that accompanying Adreno GPU. We're going to verify that stuff a little bit later on in the video as well. But $400 for a 5G device, that's a really good price in my opinion, especially if you're looking at 5G devices because you want to future-proof. So good stuff there. And the neat thing about Motorola devices is that they're always globally unlocked. So you can pretty much take this bad boy to any carrier and you should be good to go. Now, in particular, when we talk about 5G coverage, it's only going to work on 3 of the 4 major carriers here in the U.S. So it's only going to work on AT&T, it's only going to work on Sprint, and it's only going to work on T-Mobile. It's not going to work on Verizon for 5G because Verizon's 5G is a different band of 5G. So the only way you're going to get 5G on Verizon is if they come out with their own variants of these devices. Alright? That being said, this is the only Motorola device this year in the G series that has 5G. The other devices in the G series this year do not have 5G. Alright? So, just wanted to point that out. Now, if you do have Verizon, you still will get 4G LTE on this device. But if you want to take advantage of 5G, you need to be running on any one of the other 3 carriers to get 5G. And it will also work on their sub-carriers as well. So Cricket, Metro by T-Mobile, so on and so forth. Okay? It's going to work. All right. Now, let's take a look at the design and talk. Sorry, Google trying to pop up. So, looking at the G Power here, you can see we got a similar modern design, but they decided to keep a few older aspects. So on the front of the device, we still got that side-mounted punch hole camera up at the top, but we do have the redesigned camera module on the rear, even though it's more centered on the 2021 G Power. Okay. Also, they decided to go with a 6.7 inch display or 6.5 inch display. We'll verify, but it's not full HD anymore. Not like the 2021, not like the 2020 model. It's 720p now. So kind of weirded out as to why they would decide to go with the lower res display, but a good 720p display should still serve everyone very well. So kind of disappointed, but I could see where they would try and cut costs there. So it is what it is. But you can see, other than that, got a very, very good design here. Now, both of these devices are built out of plastic, so there's no glass here. So that's one thing I wanted to point out as well. And something a little different that they did with the G Power for the 2021 model as opposed to the 2020 model is they gave us a side-mounted fingerprint sensor here. So there's no rear-mounted fingerprint sensor. It's on the side now, as you can see right there. Okay, but both of these devices do have their 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. So with the G Power 2021, it's on the top, and with the Moto 5G Ace, it's on the bottom. All right. So I just wanted to show you that as well. Now let's take a deeper look into the specifications and do some comparisons. All right. So let's go ahead and jump over here and let's check this out. So as I said earlier, you can see these are the current available prices for the lowest end. So $399.99 or $200 over here, or $199.99. Those are the lower spec variants. Now, as I said, the 5G Ace only has that one variant available right now, whereas the Moto G Power 2021 does have its two variants available, so 464 or 332. And honestly, I would only recommend the 464 variant. Now, talking about bands, LTE and 5G bands supported on both of these devices, we can see here that it pretty much supports all the bands on all the carriers, regardless of whichever device you decide to go with. But in terms of 5G, you can see we only got sub-6 5G on the 5G Ace. Okay, so it's not going to work on Verizon, but it does have all the sub-6 5G bands. So Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, good to go. Verizon, no go. But you still have full 4G LTE if you decide to rock on Verizon. Okay? And you can see the announcement dates on both of these, and you can see the release dates on both of these. So these are available to purchase from the public. And then you can take a look at the dimensions right there. And you can see these are both made out of plastic, and they do both have the Motorola splash resistant nano coating. So they are not fully waterproof, they're water resistant. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind as well. Okay, and they do both support nano SIM with micro SD card expansion. Okay, then here we can look at the displays. Okay, so you can see the 5G Ace has a 6.7 inch full HD plus display, whereas the G Power 2021 has a 6.6 inch 720p display. Kind of weird, but it is what it is. Then we could take a look at the processors. Now, out of the box, both of these devices are coming with Android 10. I don't know if there's any promises to update to Android 11, and I don't know why they didn't come with Android 11. It's been out for a while, but they both come with Android 10, and you can see the Snapdragon CPUs and GPUs for both. So 5G Ace, Snapdragon 750 5G, and Adreno 619. Moto G Power 2021, Snapdragon 662, an Adreno 610. Now that's a downgrade from the Snapdragon 665 that's in the 2021 model. So again, I don't know why Motorola decided to do that, but that's what they decided to do. Kind of weird. And then we can see the RAM and storage configurations and the micro SD card expansion. So as I said, both have micro SD card expansion, and you can see the RAM and storage layouts right there. Now, moving on, let's look at these cameras here. And this is where you're going to see another weird change that Motorola decided to go with. Now, they both have triple camera setups on the rear, but they do differ slightly. They both share the same primary 48 megapixel sensor, which is a wide angle sensor. They both have depth and macro sensors, but you can see the ultra wide sensor for the Moto G Power 2021 is gone. It's replaced by strictly a depth and a macro sensor along with that primary 48 megapixel lens, whereas we do still have an ultra wide sensor on the 5G Ace. Okay, and you can see another difference here is that the 5G Ace does have 4K 30 FPS video recording, whereas the Motorola G Power, the 2021 model, maxes out at 1080p 30 FPS. Now this is weird again because the 2020 model, you can do 4K with the rear, but you can only do 1080p with the front. So it's kind of weird, yet again, that they decided to do that, but that's what they decided to do. Then for the front-facing cameras, we have a 16 megapixel camera on the 5G Ace, and we got an 8 megapixel camera on the Moto G Power 2021. Now, I can pretty much assure you these will probably come out of the box with the quad pixels technology. That's something that Motorola is leaning quite heavily into, so you're definitely going to see that on these newer models. Now, another weird thing is that they downgraded the G Power's cameras yet again. They went from a 16 back to an 8. So, you know, with Motorola, it's all about hitting certain price points. So they have to make certain sacrifices to hit certain price points. And for them, it's all about having a solid device at every price point with a solid amount of features across the board. So I can see why they're making these sacrifices, because they want to have a competitive device in every price point. Okay, so we can see the front and rear facing cameras there, and they do have 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks, as you can see there. They both have AC Wi-Fi. They both have at least Bluetooth 5.0, but as you can see, the 5G Ace comes with NFC, but the G Power does not. They both have USB Type-C, reversible fast wire charging, so that's good there as well. And they both have 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, at least on paper. Okay, and they both support 15 watt fast wire charging. Okay, good stuff there. And they're both going to come with a charging brick, charging cable out of the box. Okay, so they didn't go with that new trend where you're only going to get the charging cable. They're going to throw in the charging brick and the charging cable in the box. All right, so real quick walkthrough of the specifications of these two devices, new from Motorola. And as I said earlier, all the relevant information, purchasing links, all that good stuff will be available down below in the video description. Alright, along with that, I'm going to try and find coverage on these devices that I will link up down below in the video description as well. And I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you found it helpful. Hope everyone has a great day, and I hope everyone stays safe out there. And I will catch you guys and gals in the next video. We are out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.